Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. We have some late night breaking news for the LSU Tigers, a team that we haven't really talked much about on the recruiting trail. Brian Kelly did a phenomenal job in the transfer portal and is kind of quietly under the radar, has done a really nice job with this LSU recruiting class, not only in 2023, but you take a look at this 2024 class and you're feeling really good about what he's doing. Juwan Johnson, the latest to join LSU's 2024 class. Again, if many of you guys remember, he's the former Colorado commit, one of these splash commits. Coach Prime landed at Colorado. You knew when he decommitted from Colorado after being on campus for the spring game, Brian Kelly was going to be in the mix for this commitment, and he lands it tonight. Again, before we get into it, I want to talk a little bit about what this 2024 class is looking like, who they might be targeting next, and then just the domination of the state of Louisiana. Before we get into it, though, again, just want to say thank you to you guys. The support you guys have shown, whether it's the transfer portal, whether it's the spring game recaps, whether it's the high school recruiting trail, it all just means a lot. We love talking ball with you guys in the comment section. So, again, if you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. And for LSU fans, like, this class is looking good. And there are some targets that we're going to talk about that you got to be really, really excited about. Let's start with Juwan Johnson, though. He's going to play cornerback from what it sounds like at the college level, but you take a look at this guy's film, and we're not going to talk about it because we got some other things I want to talk about, but I would advise you, if you're looking for something to go to bed to at night, go take a look at Juwan Johnson's film and highlights from high school football, because this dude is absolutely electric, plays the quarterback position, and you see the movement skills. That's the one thing that jumps off. He's got the track speed. You see that, I believe, like a 9.8 broad jump, so explosive, good frame at 5'11", but the movement skills is what you care most about. And at the cornerback position, that's what it's about. Like, you see the guys that the college football level kind of goes after, and especially at the NFL level, like, testing numbers and how good of an athlete you are matters most for that cornerback position. You'll develop the technique, but if you're not an athlete to cover some of the elite wide receivers you're going to see in the SEC, it don't really matter what your technique looks like. Juwan Johnson, although maybe not the most polished cornerback, because he also plays quarterback for his high school team, is a phenomenal athlete that I think is going to translate at a high level at the college football level. Now, what I want to talk more about and what you have to be most excited for if you're an LSU fan is just the domination of the state of Louisiana. You take a look at the top recruits from the state. I mean, LSU's going for a clean sweep here. Dominic McKinley, no crystal ball on 24/7 Sports, but if you check out some other services, Dominic McKinley trending to LSU. Trades Green, a guy who committed about 2 weeks ago. Another, if you want to check out some high school film, like, Trades Green, pretty much throw it up to him, let him go make a play. He's going to play hoops there too, but a verified 6'7" frame, like, just so comfortable going up and catching the football. Tylen Singleton, also crystal ball to LSU. And you're looking at it. This is when LSU is at their peak. Like, these are what the classes look like. Domination of the state. And you saw a guy like Juwan Johnson commit to Colorado. You knew LSU wasn't going to give up on that. LSU's trending at potentially landing like the top 8 guys from the state of Louisiana. Brian Kelly came over to LSU because he wanted to recruit a little bit better than he could at Notre Dame. And he's certainly putting that together. And I get maybe some growing pains in terms of fitting in down south at Louisiana. But winning sells. He won at a high level. He turned that team. That team did not look pretty to start the year, and they looked phenomenal to end the year. And you're talking about teams that you project to be top 5, top 7 teams in the country next year. LSU's at the top of the list. And then they're turning out 2 back-to-back really good classes for LSU. The 2023 class, I think, was really underrated, but this 2024 class really could be a top 3 class in the country. Let's take a look at who they have in the boat already. And again, it's been highlighted or headlined by the domination of the state of Louisiana, but also going into Texas. Maurice Williams Jr., a very, very traitsy linebacker from Texas. Xavier Atkins. You have your quarterback in Colin Hurley. I know they're gunning after some elite quarterbacks in the 2025 and 2026 class as well. So you feel pretty good about that position. Maybe lacking the blue chipper talent right now, but the depth of this class is there. I mean, you're seeing multiple guys in the top 250, the top 300. That's important. Like, having those guys who are still elite prospects who might not be the 5 stars that are in the news. It's still important to fill out this class. And you're sitting at what? Juwan Johnson, I believe, the 15th commit of this LSU class, this is looking like it's going to trend to be a top 5 class for Brian Kelly, and it is a top 5 class as we stand. Now I want to talk a little bit about where we could be going for LSU. Dominic McKinley, a guy that is a top 30 national player, a lot of traction there in his recruitment process. A guy that's probably kind of reminds me of Mason Smith, like a just different level athlete for someone who's 6'5", 290 pounds. If you check him out at the camps and on the football field, like, it's really rare to find guys with his size and his frame already developed, but also being the twitched up athlete that he is. And the next guy I want to talk about that this would be a massive land is Colin Simmons. You've seen Brian Kelly have a lot of success recruiting the state of Texas. Most of their class as of right now kind of built from the state of Louisiana in the state of Texas. Colin Simmons trending to LSU. This would be a massive, massive get. That would be 2 5-stars on the defensive line for the LSU Tigers. Colin Simmons, one of the best players in the country, has taken multiple visits to LSU. I believe he has an official also lock up. I will get that, though, for you guys. This is a massive target for LSU. And you see, they're in the running for plenty of other guys. Brian Kelly sells development and he sells winning. And that's kind of still, with all the NIL that talk, like a lot of these players still want to get developed. They want to win football games and they want to be NFL draft picks. Not many coaches around the country have a proven track record like Brian Kelly does in terms of developing guys and establishing winning programs. You have to feel really good if you're an LSU fan in terms of how this program is shaping up under Brian Kelly. I thought he did one of the more impressive jobs year one. I think a lot of people discredited how poorly of a roster was left after the Edo kind of, I don't know if I want to call it a debacle, but Edo did not leave that program in a very healthy standpoint from a depth and from a talent standpoint and from a roster management standpoint. Brian Kelly turned around that program fast. He did it really well in the transfer portal in back-to-back years, and he's putting together 2 really, really good classes. If you're an LSU fan, you got to be feeling very, very happy about where you guys sit. Again, landing Juwan Johnson, a guy that maybe a little slept on in terms of the 24/7 recruiting rankings because he doesn't really have a position. When you're dubbed that athlete, sometimes you take a hit because you're not really sure what he's going to do. I think he's going to be a really good cornerback at the college football level, elite movement skills. And again, this LSU class is sneakily. Georgia's getting a lot of hype, Michigan, Ohio State. This LSU class is extremely good. They already have a lot of guys in the boat, and you have a lot of targets that are having some serious traction for the LSU Tigers. Wanted to keep this one short, but hop on a little late night update for you guys on Juwan Johnson joining the LSU 2024 class. Again, if you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. We appreciate all the support you guys have shown, and we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.